All right, y'all. Let's get to Acolyte episode 7. The penultimate episode of the Acolyte. It's been 24 hours. I've fully absorbed everything that happened in there. Had a good reaction to what happened yesterday or last week, or last night, excuse me. And the the only thing to say, the only thing to say, is that Saul fucked this whole thing. Like literally, everything is all his fault. 100%.
No, not 100%. It's Soul and Torben. Torben also, if he didn't take off, if he was there, I want to go home.
Go ahead. Go ahead and finish. Go ahead.
I want to go home. If he didn't freaking like, oh, well, if there's proof of this, what do you call it? Oh, God darn it, I lost the word. It's in there somewhere. The thing that they were looking for. What do they call it? Resurgence?
Medical range?
The Virgins.
Sorry.
Yeah. The Virgins.
Claiming that, the twins are the Virgins, so I'm going to go grab them so I can go home. He's the one that started that. But Soul says, I'll stop him, but he didn't stop him.
And that's what makes it Soul's fault, in my opinion. So Torben was manipulated. And there's a lot of people saying a lot of that in the chat, and we'll talk about all that, right? We acknowledge that the Jedi as a whole, let's be specific. Those Jedi on Brendok messed it all up. They messed it all up. And yes, it wasn't just them. It was a confluence, in my opinion, a confluence of things that happened that exacerbated things and built up, what was essentially a powder keg waiting to explode. And then it just blew up. Literally and figuratively. Yes. Then it just blew up. I hand it over to you guys. What else do you guys got to say about episode 7?
Well, I liked it. Outside of the pacing, my only issue so far with the story has been these half-hour long episodes. I think they should be longer, where they can actually sprinkle in more information and do it a little bit where it doesn't feel like it's heavily truncated. But I don't mind having a new story being told, and I'm appreciating everything I'm seeing. Like I said, I just wish it was hour-long episodes, but they could just feel like they take the time. Not hour-long episodes where they can take episode and episode merging together. Just be able to pull out more episodes, because from what I'm gathering, a lot of people who have legitimate issues with the show, not the troll baiters, not the ones saying it's messing up the lore, not those people. The people are saying like some of the stuff wasn't shot well, or I don't care about these characters. It's like typically if you have a little bit more time with the characters to get to understand them, like them, you can probably like a little bit more, because I do think some people don't like a show if they don't give a shit about the characters. If they don't really care about anybody in the show, why watch the show? So,
can we just say that the Jedi are what they are, and or what Dennis Green say? They are who we thought they were. Because I mean, it's like at the end of the day, they claim to be about peace, but I guess again, another quote, at a certain point of view, because they want everyone to think they're on, they're about peace, they're about, balance and everything, but they always truncate their own points of view on certain other people. It's like, this baby's like, this baby's like force sensitive, so we're gonna take this baby and then train him not to even think about you, once we leave, and he'll never come back, or how they are. And then the next, the instance that when they have, that's kind of the reason why most races don't really trust the Jedi, or are not like willing to kowtow to the Jedi. So that's kind of what I was like when I first saw the episode. I was like, I kind of get where some of the races was like, man, F them Jedis. Literally.
Yeah. To answer Hand's question, if you guys can hear me, Hand Kelnaka was not a Padawan.
He was
Yeah,
Jedi Knight.
he was a knight.
That's why you needed a collective to actually hold control over him. So he definitely was not a Padawan like Torben, Torben was just weak altogether. But again, I said, the Jedi in and of themselves are horribly flawed. Just in the sense of, it's like, okay, there's a virgins. Okay, cool. Just because there's a virgin does not mean you have any claim over taking control of that virgins or anything related to that virgins. The virgins is what it is. So y'all showing up, Saul coming in there, breaking and entering, first off.
Straight up beanie.
Straight
they all
breaking
did
and
first.
entering. And this is like, then y'all roll up in there. Well, stop doing what you're doing because we said so. It's like, who the hell are y'all? It's like we live here.
Yeah.
These are our customs. This is what we do. I don't give a damn what y'all Jedi do.
Like straight up
rocks. Like
Mother Coral told
what the Jedi don't seem to understand.
And Mother Coral told him straight up, right? Straight up said, "You guys are trespassing here. Get the F on somewhere." Like Saul was a habitual line stepper throughout this entire series. The entire series.
Well, maybe the time. Well, you're right. You're right. But this episode, he was straight up like, man, if you don't get your ass up out of here.
Right. Yeah. So, okay. So I know some people are going to feel a certain kind of way about this character, but for me, Mother Anastasia was a really good mother, in my opinion. I know a lot of people want to say the whole thing about, oh, well, the perception of Sith witches, they're bad and all this kind of stuff. No, Mother Anastasia was a good mom. Like, she listened to her children, even though she feared for their safety and she wanted what was best for them. She ultimately wanted to honor Osha's wishes and let her go with the Jedi. So for me, think Mother Anastasia, it was a really good character after she got fleshed out, even though it's only been 2 flashbacks episodes. I find no fault in anything that she did. Well, do we want to blame her for what she did to Torben?
Maybe she was doing that just to show her power. Like, look, listen, you can't just come over here and think you guys can control anything because I'm probably just as powerful as you are. Watch. According to, I think it was Screen Crush, they were saying that supposedly that's how it looks like when you're being Jedi mind controlled on the inside. That's what they think, is when she told him to kneel, he kneeled. So I guess on the inside, that was what it supposedly looks like. That's their take on it.
That's why I'm going to say it. There's always a bigger fish.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, and Dido had alluded to this earlier. One of the, I guess, legitimate gripes is the pacing of this show. That is definitely one of the things that needs massive improvement. This episode, a lot of people said this is just, the same episode again. And I can understand that criticism, essentially, because a lot of it was, retreaded. Essentially, it's just like, okay, we shot it from this angle. Now here's the other angle. Basically, it's kind of the feel that you got. And I mentioned this last night on the watch party. They would have benefited from starting off with Saul telling her, hey, I'm going to tell you all of this, and then quickly rehash that story and go back and fill in those gaps. And then once you get to the part that she lived through, let her argue back. No, I don't agree with you. I don't, whatever. And they could have, wrapped all this up in like 15 minutes and then had 15 minutes more of something else to push the story along. So that was my main problem with this particular episode. It was great to see Kel Naka. We finally get to see a Wookiee fight with a lightsaber, use the Force. They they were getting their butts handed to them because,
bruh.
That in and of itself is the scariest
bruh.
idea of like, that's basically exactly. That's like giving the Hulk a lightsaber and the ability to use the Force. It's like, dude, I'm done. I'll see y'all when he tires out and goes to sleep.
Exactly.
I'll be back.
The problem is they kept trying to, and the funny thing, they were trying to stop him and failing at every turn. It's like, dude, chill out.
I'll give Soul some credit. My man did his damnedest to fight him one-on-one, hand-to-hand, essentially, and no lightsabers to like cut off limbs or anything like that. He literally was doing his damnedest. So I give Soul some credit, man. That boy can fight. He's some good. He's good.
No
that boy good.
That boy good.
Yeah, exactly. That boy good.
That boy good.
Yeah, but it was like, again, that was awesome. That's something they could have highlighted, and then, like I said, I would have liked to seen some more Chimera and Osha, like pick up from her being tempted to the dark side, because now she put the helmet on or whatever, felt what it felt like. So it's like they could have picked up some of that. So because unless this last episode that's coming up is 2 hours long, there's a lot of story that they have got to try to fill. And again, I'm not saying that they are going to do that. Maybe they are trying to shoot for a cliffhanger, but I think with the pacing that this series has had so far, if they try to end on a cliffhanger, they're gonna make a lot of people mad,
including me. I'm gonna be one of them. I'm gonna be real mad if they do that, because like you said, they could have done so much better creatively to edit this thing together and tie a lot of these story threads and get rid of this slow burn BS that they've been doing. Like, they've been dripping information the entire series. Yeah, a problem is these are half-hour episodes. But you know what else had half-hour episodes? The Mandalorian. And they managed to do a really good job telling a story in those 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
They're not doing that here.
They kind of needed. They kind of needed the whole Luther effect with these episodes. Shit, because at the way the pacing is going, I don't think, like Darian said or Dylan said, the 30 minutes is not good enough.
Well, the thing is, if the writing is solid, because like, okay, let's look at now. Granted, it's a movie, but look at Rogue One. Rogue One introduced at least 5 characters that you cared about by the end of the film. And and you knew they were going to die. You knew each and every one of these characters was going to die because you had never heard of them before, never seen them in anything else, whatever. So were able to get you to care about those characters in that 2-hour movie. This is a series that's got 8 episodes, so we're talking at least 4 hours. So make it happen. It's not always just that you need an extended amount of time. You just need really compelling storytelling and good pacing to make you care about these people.
Yeah, and that's literally, I think, the problem with this show is that whoever, Leslie Headland, I know she's gotten her flowers from some of the other projects that she's done. In this one, I just don't think it's being told tight enough. There's too much opportunity for editing things to be a lot tighter. I was telling you guys last night in the watch party chat that I feel like this is similar to the Obi-Wan situation where someone's going to create a good super edit of this show, and it's going to be so much better, than the half-hour drip here and there than what we've gotten here. And that all of that just reflects to me poorly on Leslie Headland and the editors of this series, because how they're choosing to tell this story is really frustrating, I think, for some people, but ultimately it's really not as effective as it could have been. Now, this one moment here was another controversial moment for a lot of people. And it shows the twins standing apart from each other. I had some issues with this one, right? Because obviously, Soul's trying to hold them both up. Bay and Osha. This motherfucker says nothing to either one of them. Say, hey, why don't you run back to safety or get some, try and jump across and I can maybe save both of you. No, don't say nothing. Then just drop your hand and just literally just make one just die.
Well, something that was brought up, 2 things. Gosh darn it. I forgot. Oh, the first thing, the pacing, I think it's Disney execs because they want to put it on ABC one day. I think they were like, hey, we could put this on network TV and put commercials in it and sell it. You know, that could be the pacing thing. And then going to this right here is, if you think about it, and this was also brought up, which I didn't think about it, but watching Screen Crush, he just got out of a fight with a goddamn Wookiee. This man didn't have any stamina to friggin'
Okay, I'll give you that. He still could have said something.
He probably could have said something.
He did yell OSHA. He still could have said something.
He might have been.
He definitely could have said something, but my man had a straight up. He had a straight up like obsession with OSHA, dude. I'm like,
he did.
This is borderline scary. Like, why are you so pressed over this kid?
Yeah, it was creepy.
Like it was weird. The way it was portrayed in this episode was weird.
Yeah, man.
Like the Force is telling me this is going to be my Padawan.
Yeah, it's like
it must be my Padawan.
It's like, come on, Saul. Like,
yeah, like him manipulating things to go his way. His open defiance of the council, his open defiance of Indara in a lot of ways, right? I saw Takeem say something like that. Indara was a horrible leader in the comments earlier, right? I don't necessarily think Indara was a horrible leader. She was the most rational person. She was the most rational person on the entire planet outside of Kel Naka. Kel Naka didn't do anything. He was literally just a tool that got manipulated. Indara,
yeah, but she was the typical Jedi, though.
In what way? Okay, typical Jedi in what way? Right? She tried to follow the rules.
Dogmatic mind view.
She legitimately was that whole, don't allow the attachments. Don't worry about the, your thoughts and don't let your ambition. It's like I get all of that, but at the same time, it's like you're not. Like for example, don't try to help her with the test. He didn't really help her with the test. It's tell the truth. That's all he said. Tell the truth. Like that movie that Will Smith was in.
Tell the truth.
Concussion.
Yeah,
concussion or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like that's the only quote unquote coaching he gave. It's like just tell the truth.
Just be honest.
Okay, that's not helping her. That's not like stepping over any bounds or whatever. So again, I get it. That's the character she's supposed to be. She's supposed to be the the master, and she's supposed to be the one that's most like the council.
And she did the right thing in every case. And we can go ahead and just
Takeem was 100% right, and Dara was weak.
We can go ahead and just say the Jedi Council in this whole deal tried to do the right thing. They said, look, these girls are too old. Y'all already done overstepped way too much by breaking and entering into their space. Get the hell out of there. Leave them alone. They just ignored all that. Yeah. So,
two people did. Again,
two people. Yes, two people did.
pretty much like Saul and Torgon were like those like Jehovah's Witness that don't take no for an answer.
Interesting.
You told him like, hey man, get up off my lawn.
Tobin said, "I'm going home."
Right. So hey, Hannah Omega brought up something kind of interesting. He says, personally enjoying the show, but the creators' comments are a bit of a bait and switch. This is not a show about the Sith and their POV at all. It's very centered around on the Jedi, and he is very much right. But potentially could also be. I can't even say he's wrong, right? I feel like the Jedi perspective is being presented heavily, but I also think the Sith perspective is being presented heavily in the case that it's defying the perceptions that Sith or non-Jedi affiliated people are automatically bad, right? I think that's it's challenging the perception that the desire to study or the desire to use the Force is inherently bad if you're not a Jedi, or that the fact is, if you want to use the Force, the only people that can use the Force through legal means are the Jedi. I feel like that is something that's being challenged, and I agree with that. Right? I don't think the Jedi shouldn't. The Force belongs to everyone, even by its whole by the whole way it's defined by the Jedi. It's an energy field that surrounds all living beings. We don't have ownership over it. So why are we trying to mandate that the only people that can use the Force are us?
Well,
like that's wrong.
According to, again, because I watch a lot of those other YouTubers that will sit down and analyze things, read books, comic books, that there are more in the High Republic era religions, because the Jedi will be a Force religion. There are other ones out there that do different things that, but I guess because they tried to insert themselves as being the authority, and that's where the issue comes in, is because they're on Coruscant, they make plans with the government or whatnot, and even though apparently they're not as close with the government as they were in the prequel days, that they go out and assume that their authority is law. But you got that in the beginning, that you thought that they were there for those girls and we're going to take them because you guys aren't supposed to raise them. And then this episode said, no, they weren't there for the girls. And had they just listened, because what happened, it was hubris for Soul, and at least I think so. And for Tobin just being a freaking irrational, his master should have had more of a lockdown on that. Like, look, stop,
100%.
You don't go anywhere. Don't do what you're gonna do. This is not what the council is. It's not what I'm doing. Don't do anything. And
he's a worse version of young Anakin. Because he's not quite as skilled to pull off some of the stupid shit that he tries to do.
I mean, he might be a little bit skilled. He didn't die fighting Kelnaka.
I'll give him props for holding his own against a possessed Kelnaka. I'll give him props.
He didn't die. I mean, he did get scarred the heck up, but he didn't die. So
yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. So okay, this is we touched on it briefly. Do we think this show is going to satisfactorily wrap up this story with no lingering plot threads next week?
No.
That's a no. That's one no. What do you
think? No, because like I said, that would literally be them learning how to do good pacing within the last episode.
Yeah, that's nothing they've shown so far has said they can do.
They've already left like 3 big unanswered questions already. May fell off or whatever, so we need to see the aftermath of what happened to her between in the past, like her journey to meet up with Chimera. We don't necessarily need to see it, but I mean that's an unanswered question.
Yes,
we need to catch up with the current thing with Osha trying on the helmet and being tempted by the quote unquote dark side. So it's just like they've got too many possibilities of things that they need to tie up or at least address, and they got 30 minutes, according to their standard time that they've been using now. So it's like there's a lot that they could do, and it is very possible, but from what I've seen out of their style so far, no.
Yeah,
episode 5 so far has been their outright best, episode, just from a sense of content, action, concept of again, back to Han's point, the whole idea of this was this, Sith POV. That was the first time you ever got anybody that even would remotely be classified as a Sith talking about how they feel about the Force and what their goal is. So we'll see.
So is that Magnum's
new name?
No.
Is that Magnum's Corvette? No.
Magnum was in the Ferrari. This is a Corvette. Okay. And they didn't give me enough pieces because I'm supposed to have pieces to put on the freaking sides here to have side view mirrors, and they didn't.
Hey man, you shopping like a billionaire on Temu, so.
Well, it is not a Lego; it's a Mold King. But real quick, I'll be right back. You guys can.
That's cool. So, can we talk about how in episode 7, the one I started to feel the worst for is May. May was manipulated by everybody. She was manipulated
Corvette,
by
Lambo, same thing.
I feel like she was manipulated by Mother Coral. She was somewhat manipulated by Chimera. She was because literally all she wanted was to keep her family together and, you know, stay with her sister. You had the perception that May started this fire and she did a really, really evil thing, when really it was Mother Coral that kind of like got in her head and pushed her to be angry and say, hey, do this, go do this bad thing, make her stay, do this, give in to your anger, do all this other kind of stuff. And then she realized the gravity of her actions, and she was like, oh, no, this is a mistake. I need help. Let me go get help. I feel bad for May. She's the one I feel the worst for, honestly.
She did kind of get the best.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, you go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that is an unfortunate photo of her. Like her eyes look like they're about a mile apart.
Dang.
I don't know. Maybe she might grow into her face. I don't know. I don't know. But no, that is the point of her character, though. She is supposed to be the malleable one that basically just everybody can manipulate and easily push and use. That's kind of the point of her character.
Unfortunate.
I do think it's funny that how people are like, "Oh, the heck did this place burn?" And she just freaking, and it's stone. It's like she threw it and a bunch of electronics. Those electronics started to short shit out, which also caused a chain reaction.
Yes, sir.
Boom. Anyway.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, so we'll have to see how this whole thing wraps up next week. I have a feeling at the end of the day, because I'm very much next week, I'm going to rank season 1 as compared to all the other Star Wars shows that's coming before it. But based off of the pacing issues that we've had, it's starting to trend downwards. I might like Book of Boba Fett better than this show.
Whoa! Book of Boba Fett is dead last for me.
It's dead last for me too. But because of the pacing, it's not the idea.
Boba Fett's
the
pacing
story.
Was worse because these motherfuckers jumping. Ooh, pass. Woo, no pass. Woo, pass. Woo, woo,
I would love for you to rewatch Book of Boba Fett and then see if it's really as bad as you remember.
Yeah, I would
or
definitely
you just
rewatch
frustrated.
it.
Yeah, just rewatch it and see if you think it's as bad.
I got too much shit to watch, bro. To go
I hear you. I know. I hear you, man. I hear you. But
Book.
Yeah,
Go
ahead, man.
Book of Boba Fett benefited from a Mandalorian injection.
100%.
That's what Book of Boba
100%.
Fett benefited from.
Yeah, 100%. No lie. No lie.
That little bit of Mandalorian
lie.
in the middle helped Book of Boba Fett. That was it. Yeah. That was it.
True. No, you're right about that. You're right about that. Anyway, so that's about it for this show. Unless you want to,
real quick. The reason why I got up is because you guys were talking about my car. You thought it was a Lamborghini, and I wanted to show this. This one is Lego's version, Lego's branded Corvette. This is Mold King's Corvette. Which one do you like more? I don't think they're the same year.
No, easily the one on the left has better details.
Which one? This one?
Mm-hmm.
Is this my left? This is my right.
The stage left is your right hand.
Stage left. Okay.
Yeah.
So in the backside, blah blah blah.
Look at that cheap look at that cheap spoiler in the back. Like what?
I don't get
plastic.
That. It is.
Like what is that?
I don't quite get that, but yeah,
that James Bond shield going on.
That's what they put on here, but yeah. So Lego versus Mold King.
Yeah. So anyway, Hannah Omega says all these J-Lo fans up in here and no one watched Atlas. Like, who said I was a big J-Lo fan?
First off, I did watch Atlas, and a lot of people are ragging on it how it was really, 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 really bad. And I'm just like, felt like another science fiction movie where it was just.
Wait, you mean you saw Titanfall?
I guess so. I never played Titanfall. I don't even have the first Titanfall. I think I have Titanfall 2 because it was like $2.
The best one.
I never played it.
Titanfall 2 was the best one.
But I guess I will play it one day. Hopefully.
For some reason, GQ was talking all that time and I didn't hear a word that he said. That's weird. We have to figure that out. Why in the world that is happening? Did you guys hear him?
Yeah. I heard him.
Interesting. I didn't hear a word he said. Anyway. I don't know why that is. That is so crazy. Kenshiro knows he has a life-size J-Lo standee out of front. Wow, really? I don't think so, man. She's not the person I would have as my standee. If I had my choice, that's not who she would have.
Yeah, Titanfall 2 was super budget title for everybody. I think everybody picked that up for like little or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, super inexpensive. I was like, why not? You know, when I see games and they're cheap, you know, I might buy them.
Yep. All right, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up the show for today. Thank you all for joining us. We run out of topics to talk about. We'll be back next week, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, for another great episode of Culture Junkies Live. We're moving ever closer to Wolverine and Deadpool's launch day. We're getting very, very much excited. I don't want to see nary another trailer, teaser, nothing. I'm in an embargo. I hope they don't release not another thing, for Wolverine and Deadpool before that movie comes out, because it literally needs to be silence from here on out. But people are starting to get excited, and I am too, for sure. So check back next week in all of our socials. Go join us on our Facebook group. And also, if you would love to join us in our watch parties, join the Discord, and you can watch us in the watch party every Tuesday when we watch that. We'll need to be picking a new show also, by the way, next week. Maybe we could start a poll.
The Watchmen.
What our the Watchmen ain't even gonna be out.
I'm not talking about that one. Talking about
the HBO show. Okay,
yeah.
gotcha. Yeah, the HBO show was actually really good too. So we're talking about that. All right, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Hope you have a great week. We will see you guys next week. For my friends, the Great Adikuji, GQ, and Simon Says, I'm Kishiro. Peace out.
Bye-bye, everybody. A vroom vroom.